Okay, so this question's looking at graphing. So you can see it starts off with a question here, and then we've got question 3. The table shows some values of a function, and you can see that there's a set of x values and some of the y values are missing. So you need to work those out. So the easiest one to start off with, x is equal to 0. So if we substitute that in, because all three terms have an x in them, we can say that our answer is going to be 0 as well. Then when it gets to x is equal to 2, we need to substitute that in. So it means y is equal to 2 to the power of 3 minus 3 2 squared plus 2, which is equal to 8. Take away 12 plus 2. Okay, which is equal to minus 2. So we can put that in our answer there. Followed by y, x is equal to 2.75. So at this point, it's probably worth bringing our calculator in. And one of the tricks of using the calculator is that we can type in 2.75, hit equals. Then we can go answer to the power of 3 minus answer squared. Oops, don't forget 3 times answer squared plus answer, and that gives us the answer let's go 0.8 59. So we completed the table. So the next step is then to write, draw our graph on the grid. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we plot our points. And then once you've plotted the points, so the key thing is to make sure you understand what each square is. So obviously don't write this in your answer, but if we look at the graph, we can work out there are 20 points between each integer. So that means that it's 0.05, which each square that way, and then going down, each square is equal to 0.1 because there's 10 squares between each integer. So once you've done the points, the key thing then is to draw your line. Okay, and the trick is to try and keep it as smooth as possible, going through each of the points and trying to keep it nice and smooth and curved, trying to show where the turning points are as you're going along. So the fact that it's not perfect isn't a big deal, but we can use it as our graph. So that's our graph for the question there. So the next one is use your graph to complete the inequality for which x value is y is greater than -1. So we can quickly rule our line. And because there's more than one line, it's probably worth us writing what each one is. So this line is y is equal to -1. The blue is y is equal to x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared plus x. So then what we can do then is use our inequality again, use the ruler to rule our lines. So obviously at this point here is from when it's greater than -1. Okay, it also crosses over here. Okay, and then also crosses over here at this point. So we can then read our numbers. So obviously that's +1, and it's greater than -1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be 0.4. So x is greater than -0.4 but less than 1. And our last one there is 2. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would be 2.5. Now, you'll notice in the marking schedule there's usually an allowance for what you've drawn. So just make sure. So it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. 2.5. Okay, so then we'll move on to D. Okay, so the equation can be solved by drawing a straight line on the grid. Okay, and the key thing with this question is that you'll notice that the function we've been given here is different from the original function. So to make our life easier, I'm going to write the original function from here and write it above the equation there. So we've got x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared plus x. So if we have a look at the bits that are in common, obviously x to the power of 3 is in both, minus 3x squared is the same there. What's different is the bits left over. So if we think about what we have to do to x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 to make it just plus x. So obviously we can leave the first two terms the same, but what we can do is to change the 2x to an x, we can take away x, and to get rid of the plus 1, we can get rid of 1 by adding 1. So that leaves us with the new function being x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared. They cancel out to make plus x, and they cancel out. Now obviously I've got a lopsided equation now, so I need to do the same on the other side. So I need to take away x and plus 1, meaning that 0 take away x plus 1 is minus x plus 1. So what that means is that the function that the equation we've got there is the same as our original function, plus the right hand side being our straight line. Okay, what we can do for the second part on the grid, draw this line and use it to solve that equation. So if I do this straight line where they intersect with the original function, will give me the answers or the answer for x. So the key thing is remembering how to draw a straight line. Start off with the y-intercept, which in this case is +1, and then using the gradient we can go with the run being 1 and the rise, in this case going downwards, is 1 as well, meaning that we end up with a second point there. Get our ruler, try and line up the points. The computer doesn't always make it easy to be able to do that. Draw our line, making sure we extend it through, making sure that we try to get the line to go through the points, and then we can get rid of our graph again. We can see that there's an intersection point here. Again, get our ruler back, measure up to the x-axis, and work out what this point here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it means it's 2.3. Okay, and then the last question, probably a good idea to label this as well. In case we make a mistake, we may still get some marks. Then with E, draw a suitable tangent to find an estimate of the gradient of the graph, which was our original function, at x is equal to. So we find x is equal to minus 0.25. So we count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's there. Again, trying to use our ruler as much as we can. We can rule down, and funnily enough, that was an answer that was in our original point there. So what we could do there actually, and probably what we should have done from the start, is remembered our formula for finding the gradient. Y is equal to m is equal to y1 take away y2 over x1 take away x2. The 2 points we're going to use is the ones either side of the middle point. So we're going to use minus 0.75. No, we're not going to use that one. We're going to use minus 0.5, y minus 1.4. And the other point is we're going to use 0, 0. So using that formula, substituting those two values in, if we take the y, it's minus 1.4, take away 0 over minus 0.5, take away 0, which means our gradient is minus 1.4 take away divided by 0.5, which means our answer is 2.8. So our final answer is 2.8. M is equal to 2.8. Now just to clear up that, so we've used this point here and this point here, which we got the original points there, and the ones either side. Obviously you could just pick any point and use that as well by counting the rise over the run, and as long as you explain that correctly, that would be an acceptable method as well.